Your bag is on the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, bro. Hey. Yo, man. Good to see you.
You too.
Yo, get in.
Yeah?
Give me the ride. I saw you walk across there, and I was like,
Hello.
dude, might as well. Okay, I forgot to, in the second episode, I forgot to do a clap sync. Dude, would you like to do the honor?
Sure, yeah.
Do a thick one. Yeah. Beautiful. We got it. Mr. Javier Cruz.
Oh, Mr. Ryan Bartlett.
Well, thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate it.
Of course.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah,
so
you too, man. I was just saying off camera that I was hoping to see you one of these days.
Yeah.
So this is a nice opportunity when you were like, hey, like I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah. And it's funny enough too. So this is our third episode now of It's Been a Minute, and Christian's the one that recommended I ask you to be on the show.
That's cool.
So that's really cool. Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen him for a while too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a domino effect.
I know.
In that sense of like, oh wow, I'm catching up with all these old friends.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because
really
now that I've been doing this, it's kind of like everyone's recommending a different person. So now I'm kind of like thinking about, oh yeah, they would be really great to have on and things like that. So I'm kind of just going with that. And like I said, I mean, I've said this in the previous episodes, but life is as busy as it is, and sometimes it's hard to even make the time to just do this. So I really appreciate you even just coming out to even do it. It means a lot.
I mean, it's down the road.
Yeah.
The old neighborhood.
The old ends, as
the
they
ends,
say. The
yeah.
ends. Yeah.
I mean, we're technically Toronto mans, so.
Yeah. I guess so. Funny enough is that like we could just talk about like how we know each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Out of the three, because I interviewed Christian, I interviewed Vincent so far. We knew each other since high school, but you and I, we go back to elementary.
Very long. We've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, so it goes way back.
I think probably since kindergarten.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had the same kindergarten.
Who did you
class.
have? Do you remember all your teachers going
I
up?
have an incredibly long memory, especially for people.
Okay, let's honestly, I think I might too. Let's go through all of it. Let's see how many classes we were in.
Let's
together.
do it. I had Miss Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa.
So we had Miss Santa Rosa
Yes.
for JK and SK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say both. Yeah.
And then
grade one. I heard Bertolo, something like that. Bertoli.
I had Miss Bertolo as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Bertolo.
Okay.
Miss Bertolo.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Grade 2.
I had Miss Notte.
You had Note. I had Tari.
I remember
Yeah.
Tari. She was kind of mean.
Was she?
Yeah.
You remember all the way back to grade 2?
Yeah, because my brother had her after, and he would be like, "Yeah, she's really mean."
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
3.
I had Mr. Persis.
The Persis.
We had
Yep.
Mr. Persis.
Yep.
I think
4.
we had Miss Valentini together, didn't we?
Valentini?
I had
No,
Miss
I
Valentini.
didn't. I had someone else. I forgot her name, but she kind of but we did a lot of stuff where we would switch over and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I remember Valentini a lot though, even though she wasn't my actual teacher. Yeah.
I don't remember the other teacher's name.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And then 5.
5, I had Miss Lucijo.
Yes,
We had Miss
that's
Lucijo.
who it is, Miss
Yeah,
Lucijo.
we had Miss Lucijo.
Yeah.
And then
Ooh.
grade 6, we had Miss Pellegrino.
Miss Pellegrino.
That's kind of an unforgettable.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Okay. That unlocked a memory.
Yeah,
like
right?
Miss
That's what I'm
Pellegrino.
saying. That's
Because
what
we went back. I think I went back to back on Pellegrino. I went back to back on Pellegrino and then Graham for grade 8.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But okay, Miss Pellegrino. If you're watching this, all love, right?
Yeah. Shout outs.
I just remember her being so. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. She just had interesting personality.
She had a weird energy, right?
Yeah, she was bubbly, but it kind of sometimes in a weirder sense of that word. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she looked down on her students a little bit. Like
you think?
A high point. Not even in a negative connotation, but she just kind of felt aloof. Aloof, I think, is the right word.
Yeah.
She was kind of aloof.
Yeah.
But shout outs to her. She was a good teacher, though. I
She
think
was.
she was a good teacher.
She was. A funny story with her is that even before I had her, do you remember we used to have talent shows in elementary school?
Yeah.
It was the year. It was the year when High School Musical came out, because I think there were like 2 performances that were specifically High School Musical,
Okay.
and then 2 performances that were doing like the Soldier Boy dance.
Soldier
something
Boy
like
dance.
that.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout out to the Soldier Boy dance.
It was so popular that there was 2 separate performances, and for the same song. Like, for the High School Musical one, they did all in this together. But there were 2. They let 2 different groups. I remember this like it's embedded in my mind. They did that.
I don't think I went to that, but it
No?
doesn't surprise me.
I was in it, and I played the piano.
Oh, nice.
And I played Canon in D, the most generic classical song you could ever play on an instrument. And she came to me afterwards, after I was done my performance, and she was all like, "Oh my gosh, that was the song they used at my wedding," and whatever. And I feel like, and then she asked me for my name and all that stuff, and I want to say conspiracy theory that because of that interaction, she wanted to have me in her class, and that's why I ended up in her class. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird memory, but I remember that so vividly. It's strange. Yeah.
It's really funny. Yeah. I would have remembered the talent show. I don't think I didn't go to that, but.
Well, I think for you, because speaking about Miss Pellegrino, she directed like the plays that we would do.
Yeah, she did.
Right? And she directed.
She was like the director.
Yeah, she was so. She had a very big personality, and like she would do well in that environment, like Broadway or musical theater and all that stuff, right?
She took it very seriously.
Yeah. Oh, you can eat you can like eat that mic. You can eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get right in there.
I mean, you got the popping filters. So.
Yeah. I remember. Do you remember how she did 2 different plays with us? There was Annie.
I remember Annie. Yeah.
And then Grease.
Yes. How could I forget?
You were in it, right?
I was in it.
Weren't you one
I'm
of
almost embarrassed to say that I was in the production of Grease.
You were part of the gang. Like
I was the gang. You
were one of Danny Zuko's boys.
Danny Zuko's boys.
Yeah, because I remember. Oh my, was it John Loureiro?
John
Loureiro was Danny Zuko.
Yeah.
And then
Angelique played Sandy.
Shout out to Angelique.
Shout out to
hitting you
Angelique.
up to get on this
I was gonna be my suggestion.
That was gonna be I already hit her up. We're trying to. Okay, it's okay. You claim it. You claim it. And she was Sandy.
She was Sandy.
Yeah. That was really
Sandy.
fun. And I was in it too, but I didn't have a speaking role. You probably don't remember that.
I don't think I remember that. Yeah, I was the main cast. I was one of the first names on the call sheet. I don't remember.
I was essentially an extra.
Oh,
to be fair. So it was okay, do you remember the Grease movie? Like,
yeah, it's a good movie.
Good movie. So you know how after Sandy gets mad at Danny, she starts dating like this jock guy?
Yeah.
I'm the jock guy.
Oh, damn.
But I didn't have like any lines.
Yeah, you were just like
there's a part where I throw a football to Isosa. Remember Isosa?
Throwback.
Shout out to Isosa. I throw a football to him and then we like run across like the thing.
Showing off your athletic skills.
I was so scared that I would just shank the throw or something like that. And then there's the other scene that I was in was after Danny's trying to like make up with Sandy or whatever. He like falls while he's running, and then she goes to him, and they leave me on stage by myself, and I'm just like, I just shrug at the crowd and leave.
Yeah.
So that's the epitome of my acting
There's
career.
no small parts, only small actors. Yeah, that's so funny. That took up too much of my elementary school time. I remember like it sacrificed recesses, sacrificed soccer games, ball games. Like, nah, it was too much.
Maybe they went a bit too all in on it.
Yeah,
I think it turned out well though.
Yeah,
for the most part.
It was fun. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a play for the parents, and I think it's important to stimulate kids into like artistic pursuits.
Sure, absolutely.
For acting, dancing, singing. So like in that sense, I think it accomplishes a lot. But like, at a certain point, I realized like, wow, I don't want to act. I don't want to sing, and it was like a little bit of resentment there. But I mean, at the end of the day, I love the arts, and like I'm a patron of the arts, so you know.
For sure, absolutely.
We out here.
I can tell. What was great about that too is that it got us out of a lot of classes.
It did.
Like we spent a lot of class time just chilling in the gym while they were or you guys probably rehearsed way more than I did. I was just there hanging out, but it got us out of a lot of classes,
sure.
which was nice. Yeah.
So I had 6 and 7 Miss Pellegrino.
Yep.
I think you.
And I was there too.
You were there
we were
too.
there with the splits and
We
all
had
that
the
stuff.
splits.
Yeah,
That kind of
Ooh,
was not good.
Being in a split class is so interesting. So I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced this, and it usually typically happens. It can happen in elementary school, like where you're in a split class, like 2 different grades.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you have to switch over
Yeah.
for specific
And
subjects.
looking
and
back on it, that's really bad. It's not conducive to a learning environment. it's probably indicative of like budgetary cuts or like not enough personnel. Because why would there be a mix of classes? Why would there be a mix of grades? That's so bad.
there's a lot of deep issues or deep concerns with that. With these cicadas or cicadas are buzzing loud right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Trying to hold on to that last little bit of summer.
I guess me too, honestly. Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Like being in those split classes all the time and stuff like that. It got so bad that in grade 8, were you in the split class too?
I was not.
You
in the
weren't.
split class.
So you were
I
with
had Miss Barolero.
Barolero.
Yeah.
I was with Graham, right? And every time we would try to sneak out of Graham's class to join you for like gym or for other stuff.
Like science.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. The funniest thing about elementary school to me is the first day of school. Speaking of because we're kind of in that, we're in that first week of school
it has
now.
that there. Yeah.
Right?
That's so coincidental.
So first day of school in elementary school. So you're starting a new grade, right? Looking at the sheet. What's that? Did you see that?
A squirrel?
No. What is? See that? See those 2 dogs?
Yes.
They're just running around. So I got distracted. Maybe they belong to them. I don't know. But they're just by that tree. They're just by themselves. They're like really small. Anyway, sorry.
You know what? I also get a little shook when dogs are not on their leashes. So.
Or I don't see anyone around that's. Yeah, see? Look right there. Look.
Oh, he's grilling.
Yo.
Oh my God.
They're coming. Eunice, get this.
Oh, they're small though.
I know.
I thought they were big.
I just don't know where they're from. Hi.
They're Chihuahuas.
Yeah. Maybe because they see us making eye contact with them, so they're. Oh, they came from there.
Oh.
Okay. All right, we're good.
That's kind of very whimsical.
that was so weird. I thought I was seeing
appear.
things. Yeah. We're having like a Disney movie moment or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like going first day of school, elementary school, when you had to check the the sheet
To see
attendance
whose
sheet.
class you're in.
Yeah. And it's all that little bit of heartbreak when you see that like some of your friends are like split up.
You're like,
oh,
damn,
no.
they really had to do the homies like that.
Yeah. Maybe they knew.
So
They're
funny.
like, oh, we got to keep these 2 apart and stuff like that.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Elementary school. Interesting time.
Interesting time for sure.
Plus, you're in it for so long, right? Because we grew up in the Catholic board. So
and we were in the same school for like people move away. New people joined the school, but like we were like OGs though.
We were there from SK to 8.
We were holding it down.
We were Saint Philip Neri.
Representing Pelmo, and we hung out a lot too.
That's
in
true.
Elementary school, like I'd come over to your house
all the time.
You've come over to my house as well.
A lot,
which is cool.
A lot. I remember specifically going to your house and playing FIFA Street.
Yes,
that's a sick game.
Yeah, that was such a cool game. I still think about that game. Honestly, it's such a great game.
I don't know why they don't just make another one.
They did like some street style into the newer FIFAs, but
really?
like it's kind of like it was like an afterthought. It's not very fun.
I kind of fell out of FIFA after like FIFA 15 probably.
15? Yeah, that's kind of around the same time I fell around.
That's when it was peak for me. That's when I was like so into soccer and stuff like that, and I still kind of am.
Yeah.
But it goes in and out.
Goes in and out for sure.
I was gonna say before I was gonna talk about like football and stuff too, but going back to like games that we played growing up, I remember you still hang out with a lot of the old elementary games.
I do. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like shout out Alex, shout out Joshua.
I was actually hanging out with Alex and Jesse last night.
Jesse Tavares. I know. I remember, dog. I remember.
Jesse would be a good shout.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you think?
This. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Fabian. Do you hang out with Fabian?
I'm hanging with Fabian and Jesse. Yeah. I went to Albert's birthday 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Oh my Albert Marin.
Albert Marin.
Whoa! Oh my God.
That's
dude.
a throwback, right?
That's a throwback.
Because he's moved around. Like he's been here and there.
'Cause I remember playing basketball with him a lot, and man, he was so good.
He's
he would
good.
cook me all the time, man. He was so good.
He's tall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got taller.
He's pretty tall.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But because so speaking about them, I remember going to like Alex's house or Joshua's house specifically, and we were playing Super Mario Strikers.
Love Super Mario Strikers.
Which is still, in my opinion, one of the best soccer games to ever be created.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
The original one for GameCube.
Yeah.
They did a Wii one. They recently did one for the Switch, but they don't capture the same magic of the original.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh man,
I get really into that. That was really fun.
I love it.
But yeah,
we hung out a lot in elementary school.
We did.
That was fun. That was always fun.
It was always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like a solid group, you know, and it was funny with elementary school too, was that because we had kind of like everyone was cool with each other.
Yeah.
But when it was recess time, you had the soccer kids and you had the basketball kids. Right?
That's so funny.
So with me, I like to play both.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was always conflicted. It's like, oh my gosh, do I play basketball today or do I play soccer today?
You know what'd be funny? When people were missing, they'd be like, Jason Angulo and like Kevin Opoku would be like, yo, Ryan, yo, come play ball. Come play ball. I'd be like, yo, Ryan, come play soccer, man. Yo, come play soccer.
I'd be so torn.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I want to play both, but I don't want to let anyone down. I'm scared.
I remember those times.
Because they would have, there was a lot more people playing soccer.
There was, yeah.
So you could still like evenly divide things.
Yeah.
But with basketball, if you're missing one person, it kind of ruins it.
Because
if you're playing fours or threes,
yeah,
then it throws it off, right? So yeah, I remember being very conflicted. Even Ace too.
Ace, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Ace. Shout out Ace Urbanus.
Yo. Jarek.
Shout out Jarek,
dude. Speaking of Jarek too, remember in like early high school, right? Because like we all went.
We could talk about high school actually. We went to high school as well.
We did go to high school together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we still talked.
Yeah.
Too.
We kind of in the beginning we were all like me, you, and Jarek were pretty close. Like we would go. Remember we go to his place like all the time and stuff like that. And we kind of like started to drift because we kind of found like our own groups and
different
stuff like
groups,
that.
But we never completely like lost contact. We talked all the way until grade 12.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think for good reasons. Not only because we're good friends, we had a lot of history, but also because I think part of the reason why we're good friends is because we share a lot of interests.
For sure.
And one of them being music.
So
let's talk about junior band, concert band, jazz band. I think that needs to be discussed.
Dude, you were in it for a lot of it too. Like, were you in it all 4 years?
Yeah,
for the most part.
I did concert band in grade 9.
Yeah, and you were in first. I remember you and Jarek being in first sem, and I didn't go into music until second sem, so I didn't really join yet.
So
I was so jealous.
I was like, disadvantage there.
I was like, I couldn't wait for music in second sem. I mean, that's what propelled me to where I am today, man. Like
you were so good.
Yeah, I mean, being with like shout out to Chevry and Voros, right?
I was so proud when Voros was like, you know what, Cruz, you're good enough to join the concert band. Join the concert band. I was in grade 9. I was like, what?
I know, man.
I was only third chair in grade 9.
You're holding that trumpet section down, dude.
I was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say this, but I'm going to. I beat you for the grade 9 music award. I won the grade 9 music award.
You did win the grade 9 music award. But who won the grade 12 music award?
You know what? Did you sweep the next 3 years? I think you three-peat, didn't you?
I don't know, but I won the grade 12 one.
You won grade 11 as well because we had grade 11 together.
Okay,
yeah, we did.
Maybe I did.
And then I was like, yo.
The thing is, though, thank you, because I used that as motivation, obviously.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to get that back.
I had that chip, and then Ryan was like, I'm taking my talents to South Beach, and he did a three-peat. And I was like,
but I actually three-peated, not like the Heat.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed.
That was really fun, but one of the best times I've had.
Music is a big part of, I think, both of our lives.
For sure.
So.
For sure.
And you know what's funny? In elementary school, I think we were some of the best players, like some of the best musicians.
I remember
because we had Miss Parvu.
Miss Parvu. Oh my gosh, we even went to a festival once for that.
You know what? I didn't go because I chose to go to track and field that day, and I regret it to this day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, it's funny because I remember that festival so well. So we were playing. I forgot what the name of the song was, but the melody of the trumpets was went like da 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 da, and then like,
Yes,
everyone else would respond.
I recall that melody.
Right?
Yeah, I do. It was like a call and response thing.
And what happened was the trumpets kept rushing that one part. So that was like our one feedback that they kept trying to fix, but they couldn't fix it
for the big performance. You know what I remember?
I don't know why I
vividly?
remember that.
I don't know if you remember this, but we played Tequila in grade 8.
That was at high school, I think. Had to be.
Had to be.
Tequila is too hard of a rhythm, because you got like that
That's
that
true.
Latin jazz feels,
But
and that's too.
I
advanced
remember
for-
learning the rolling, like when you roll your R's and you get that like vibrato.
Oh, sure.
I remember learning that from Miss Parvu, and she was so impressed that I could do it. And it
Dude,
was
you were-
due
you
to
were-
the simple fact that I could roll my R's.
You were killing it, man.
I
We were decent. We were decent.
I think I have a gift for the trumpet.
Have you played since?
No, I haven't, but I want to buy one, and I want to
Yeah.
get back into it.
Me too, man. I didn't touch the trombone since after high
Really?
school. Yeah.
But don't you teach band?
Either way.
Don't you teach band?
I don't like. I'm trying to. I don't.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I do teach high school now, but I only had one band gig for like a few months, and it was during COVID, so it wasn't really much. Yeah.
Okay, but you're on the way.
I lost my
That's
chops.
good.
Honestly, I need to get back into it. Yeah.
But you know what I vividly remember and what I really appreciate is that when we did concert band together, probably starting grade 10, because you were shooing, I think, like, because you were really good.
I was decent.
You're really good.
I was decent.
And so we would go to concert band together, and I would get rides from you.
Yeah.
That was so clutch.
Yeah,
because then I would have had to walk.
My dad would drop us off, and you'd pick you up at your place.
Because it's on the way.
Yep.
Literally,
Perfect.
this road, we can see it from here.
Yeah. Hey, it helped during like those snowy winter mornings.
I
man.
would have had to walk like 15, 20 minutes at like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? Because we
in
have
the
to get
snow,
up early.
like -20.
And I
weather,
really appreciated it. That was so
Yeah.
clutch. And I
Yeah.
feel like that helped us, like, you know, stay together and like talk about stuff. We
For
talked
sure.
about stuff all the time,
For
right?
sure.
And we hung out in high school too, like even like after band.
Yeah, because you knew who I hung out with too, and like everyone was cool with you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your crew is cool.
Yeah,
You
the
were the
Filipino gang.
Filipino. I didn't want to say it, but you said it. So
I
shout
did-
out to the
I
Chef fam.
Yeah, okay. You know, okay, this is totally messed up, and I don't like condone this like anymore, but it's still like a little bit funny.
Mhm.
Because there was like different sections in the cafeteria.
The cafeteria, there
So, like-
were they're designated lunch tables for
Actually.
groups.
So before we were there, apparently the table that the Filipino crew used to sit at was called Cafrica. Because that's where
Yes.
that's where like all the black
Yeah.
kids would sit.
Yes,
right?
yeah, that was a thing.
But
Certainly
then
a thing.
once we started sitting there, they started
Yeah.
calling it like Casia or something like that.
I never heard that.
No.
I never heard that.
I think maybe we just said it as a joke because like okay, since we sit here now, it's
Casia?
Casia.
I kind of like that though.
Yeah.
Kind of owning the, kind of owning the.
Yeah.
the
We were always
racial
like right,
undertones.
we were right by the doors.
By the
for
doors,
some
yeah.
reason. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, shout out to the Filipinos at Sham.
Dude.
Good, well represented.
Yeah,
for
man.
real.
I mean, I already spoke to 2 of them. I gotta get
Literally.
the rest of the list. You know, yeah, like.
Yeah, that's so
and
funny.
I remember too when after like grade 9 or grade 10, like after we started hanging out, then we kind of found our own groups. But when we had classes together, we would talk a lot.
we would talk a lot because we had
And I
classes
remember-
together. Yeah.
I remember me, you, and Paul Aguilera.
I still talk to him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
still
doing
talk
all
to
right?
him. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
like not-for-profit stuff. He ended up going to film school as well,
Cool.
which is really funny.
I knew I remember him and you like being super into
We're
movies
super
and stuff
into
like
film,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now he does like these he does these screenings of like interesting films.
Cool.
Downtown. You should come.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're open to the public.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe that sounds fun. That sounds fun.
They're really cool.
Yeah. And so the reason why I brought him up was that you and him kind of, and even Christian Dimabuyu, shout out Christian Dimabuyu, you guys kind of got me into soccer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we started watching soccer. We would talk about soccer after.
I never really followed it, so I never understood
Yeah.
like how leagues worked. I didn't understand how like competitions and stuff worked, right?
Yeah.
And but after like you and Paul would talk about it a lot, Or just, like,
Because we
clubs and
hung
stuff
out
like that.
together. Because like we would talk about like other things. We would talk about film and like music.
Yeah,
And we're just cool with each other.
exactly.
And we talked
then,
about
But when Champions League was around, and
because that's super exciting.
yeah.
Right?
Plus, like you'd run home because like Champions League games were always at like around 2:45, 3
So you
o'clock.
gotta
like right after class is done, you gotta run home and watch the games. And yeah, that's why I became an Arsenal fan because of you, man.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
so touching. That's my favorite team.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I root for Arsenal because like since
I
you
love
brought me in.
that.
And I'll root
Yeah.
for Barca too because of Paul. as
Barca
well.
is they're
Yeah.
a good team too.
You know, so really, yeah. Really
You know what's
so
so funny? That was actually a factor when I was deciding like when I was available, because usually the games are like Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
So I remember last weekend, or when we were scheduled to do it last, I was like, "Yo, let me check if Arsenal's playing." Because well, I mean, I would come do this, but I would be like, "Yo, actually, like, yo, can we do like maybe 2 p.m. like after the game?"
Okay, that's why. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hey,
That's so
I wouldn't
funny, yeah.
wouldn't hold you to that, man. I would tell
You
you,
know
hey,
how it
watch
is.
your games.
You're a big sports
So
guy
watch
too.
it together, and then
We should.
do that. Yeah,
We really should.
That'd be cool.
Let me know if
I'd be
you're
down to
down.
get
Yeah,
together
yeah.
to watch some games. But yeah, and then so I would talk about it with you and Paul, but then I would go to Christian's house and play FIFA. Like us two.
Oh, I didn't know Christian liked FIFA.
Yeah, we were super.
He lived.
Yeah, he lived close by
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
and we would play it a lot. Like we would do.
You know what?
like,
I do
co-op
remember
careers
talking
and stuff
about
like that.
FIFA with Christian here and there.
Yeah, and when we played against each other, it got heated. It got like really heated.
I remember him saying he was good, and I was
He
like,
was.
damn, yeah.
He was actually really good. Yeah. But that was always really fun. But yeah, I haven't actually followed football lately ever since it was taken off of like TSN.
It's hard to
Sportsnet?
watch. Yeah, I have to like buy. I buy a service
I already
to watch it,
paid
which
for
is
all these other
annoying.
subscriptions.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang, I gotta like.
we're in the age of streaming services, right?
Yeah.
So
And I mean, I fell out too, and Arsenal had like an amazing season last season. Like
they almost won the chip. I was heartbroken.
They
when
were close. I
they
mean,
didn't,
but I was like, oh, that I kind of fell out at the wrong time because now they're kind of they're in good form.
They're like
now,
one of the
right?
best teams in the league, I would say.
Yeah.
It's actually a great time to get back in.
I saw. I mean, they had a big win against against United last week.
Yeah.
That 3-1
Yeah.
win.
I have the streaming. I could come over with my laptop.
Yeah,
and
bro.
watch if you'd like.
Why not? Why not? That's why I like things that are easier to follow. Like, I started following F1 a lot recently. So, because
Interesting that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
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 I'm really I don't really like cars. I've never really been into cars.
Uh-huh.
But 2 weeks ago I saw the movie Gran Turismo in theaters.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it's about based on a true story. So Nissan sponsored a program where they brought the best Gran Turismo players, because it's a very realistic like racing
It's
game.
like it's a simulator almost.
Simulator, they call it. It's not a game, it's a simulator, right?
Yeah.
And so they brought together the best GT players from like 4 different continents,
Mhm,
and they
mhm.
tried to see if they could race real cars,
Oh,
and they were
okay.
successful in doing so. And
Yeah,
this actually
yeah.
happened in IRL.
Yeah.
And the movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like from a filmmaking standpoint, honestly, great pacing, great acting. Not the most deep story, but there was enough character development there to keep you like satisfied.
Cool.
And just overall, from a non-filmmaking perspective, it's a fun film.
yeah.
It's almost, I saw a review and it was like Rocky with cars. And it was like, yeah, because it's like this new up-and-comer who's coming into this really established niche sport
Sure.
and like starts to compete, and you really want to root for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like these fast cars.
You could
I didn't
see-
realize the
Yeah.
sportsmanship in it, you know?
It's I never appreciated like what they're capable of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
I
why-
completely agree.
Because I got into it after watching like most people. Like I'm not saying like sounds really basic of me, but after watching Drive to Survive, like the Netflix documentaries.
Not basic at all. I think like that's what
Right.
they're designed to do. They're designed to elevate the profile of these
for
niche
sure.
sports, right?
And they show you like what they go through, like to
Yeah.
first of all I didn't realize how much they have to train their bodies in order to handle the
Yeah,
cars.
they're always like they need to be like physically fit and
exactly.
everything. Yeah.
Like they train their necks specifically too.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
why
interesting.
If you notice, like F1 drivers, they have like really thick necks because they have to be able to handle like the G forces and when they're
Thick,
turning.
but like spelt with 2 C's.
yeah,
Yeah.
very thick.
There.
Because I remember watching footage of someone who's like a normal person, like be like in a passenger in an F1 car,
Yeah.
and when they brake and turn, like,
That's so
like, their heads are all
interesting.
over
Yeah,
the
they
place.
have to. Yeah.
but they keep themselves really stable.
Mhm.
They like, or even just like the mental fortitude that it takes to drive a car with
For
that
sure.
amount of pressure,
Split
that
second
amount of-
decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like watching the documentaries made me appreciate it. And I'm like, okay, I could see me following the sport. Like,
That's
these
cool.
guys are
yeah.
athletes, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's easy to follow. Like, they race like every 2 weeks, and you just pop in for like an hour and a half. It's like, okay, oh, Max Verstappen won again. Cool. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of the same names that come up.
This
I
one
will say
dude,
that.
he's won like 10 straight races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Max Verstappen. I've heard
Yeah.
the name Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
think a lot of people have, and they
Yeah.
probably don't even know who that is, but they've
I
heard the
don't,
name.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
always this big sports guy.
Yeah.
You're
I
always
still
watching
I still do.
Leafs and like Raptors and
Yeah.
stuff. I know you're like basketball.
Yeah. That's what made it hard in elementary schools because I liked so many different sports.
Yeah.
So like I was.
You were
always
like the
pulled
sports
into-
guy
Yeah.
in elementary school.
I was pulled into like a lot of things, but we
Yeah.
were on a lot of teams together too. Like we were on like the soccer team.
We were on the soccer
together.
team. That was sick.
Yeah. How was my keeping skills?
You were
was
sick.
I
You
okay?
were sick because you were doing hockey stuff. You were like you were going stick side and everything.
I was trying to like I like trying to block it like a blocker.
Yeah,
like-
with the pads.
Yeah, I didn't have the soccer keeper fundamentals, but I
Yeah,
used
but-
like my hockey traits and try to like carry that over.
Yeah, I
guess.
think it translates a little bit.
It worked okay.
Yeah.
More so in like indoor.
Indoor, yeah, 'cause
Indoor.
it's smaller net.
Yeah, but with outdoor, I was like I
It's
lost my
hard,
footing. a
yeah,
bit.
it's really
just
hard.
different.
Yeah, we
It's
played.
completely
We would
different.
play sports sometimes. We'd come here. Play
Yeah.
basketball a couple times.
I remember. Do you remember being on the slow pitch team together?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
dude,
was
that
honestly
fun.
so fun.
That was sick.
That was probably the most fun I think in
I kept
all the
my
teams I
t-shirt.
played. Yeah, did you?
Yeah, it's on ice too. It's like it looks brand new because I never wear, but it's like it's a really nice.
I thought we had to
memento.
give those back.
We were supposed to. I teefed it. I was like, yo,
It's
give me
okay.
that. Yo,
It's
give me
okay.
that.
That was really fun.
That was super fun.
Do you remember what position you played?
You know what? I played a made-up position because you remember how you had to pitch to your own team,
Yeah,
and it was
'cause
like an
it's slow
effort to like
pitch, yeah.
reduce, I guess, injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
I played
'Cause
rover.
slow
they
pitch rules
they
like
called
that.
it rover.
Yeah, so you
So I was essentially was the position of the pitcher,
Yeah.
but I didn't pitch.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
had to play the defense if you were in that
Essentially,
position.
yeah, only defense only.
Yeah, I played third base. If I'm not
So
mistaken.
you're holding it down though.
I was okay. And then we had Jason Angulo at shortstop.
yeah,
and,
something like
Yeah, I
that.
remember that. Yeah, that was fun though, man. That was like one of the funnest sports teams because there were so many people involved,
There was,
and our practices would be really fun.
and like I think nobody really knew, like nobody had baseball fundamentals. Nobody really practiced the sport outside
But we were
of school.
decent. We were decent.
We were decent.
We got
yeah.
second both years.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was fun.
it was fun. What's it called? And the funny part about that too is we started kind of getting into playing baseball during recess.
Yes.
But the thing is,
there was a whole saga there.
our elementary school, like sometimes when I see different schools, I'm like, man, they're so lucky. 'Cause
Aren't
we
you?
just had. Yeah, you want to say it? Like,
I was just gonna say, like, no, you can say it, but I was gonna say we're like our school's underfunded, and
Yo.
like we didn't have a lot of resources, and you don't realize this until you become older and you got a bigger perspective on things.
because
Right?
we kind of just had what we had, and we just
Yeah.
made do with it.
Back
but-
in my day, we didn't have all these nice things.
We didn't have grass.
Yeah.
Like actually, like our feet.
Literally.
We didn't have a field. It was
Yeah.
just a big concrete lot.
It is a big
So
concrete.
That's
lot,
where
yeah.
we would play soccer. That's where we would play even like American football. We played American
tackle
football,
football
dude.
on concrete. Yeah.
More so in the winter because we could maybe like tackle
Yeah.
a bit. But I remember us playing like baseball.
Yeah.
This is a weird memory. I'm bringing this up. Another one that just came up. We were trying to play baseball. We were using tennis balls,
Yeah.
but as a bat, we were using books.
Textbooks.
Yeah, and then we asked the teachers like, "Oh, does anyone use these textbooks anymore?" And they're like, "No, you
They
can
were
do whatever
old, they
you
were
want with
old,
them."
outdated books.
Yeah, so we used that as like our bats.
Yeah.
That's how much we had to like struggle for
Yeah,
our
and
stuff.
then I don't know if you remember this, but
Yeah.
we ripped 2 of the books
Yep,
and we had to pay for them.
and we got in trouble.
We got in trouble.
Yeah, I had a letter sent home. That was
Yeah,
the first
me
time
too.
that's ever happened to me.
Me
and
too.
I
Yeah, we had
freaked
a letter
out.
sent home.
I freaked out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think
That's
my
so
mom's watching this,
unfortunate.
but if she does, this is gonna be a funny story too. I lied to her about what the form was about, so I just asked for her signature on it because she didn't bother reading
What was
it.
the lie?
I don't know. I just maybe it's like, oh, it's just for a thing at school. I need your permission
For extra credit.
Because I was such a good kid.
You
right?
were
Quote,
a
unquote.
good kid. You are a good kid. You're a very wholesome,
Yeah.
very you're
I
by
try-
the book guy.
I try to be.
I
try
feel.
to be in the right in the proper environments. That's what I try to be, right? But because of that, I was so scared. So I was like, okay, this is my only option.
I feel like
don't
you had
wanna
a
get mad.
reputation as like the nice
because I
by
just,
the book
I guess I didn't get in trouble a
guy.
lot.
Yeah, no, you never got in trouble.
Very rarely. Okay, I remember.
You're
okay,
always so polite too. That's why. Like
Yeah.
your reputation was earned. Like
Thank you, man.
you're such a polite guy. I remember. You know what I remember? You always had this selflessness to you, which I think was really nice.
No, that's
You know
nice
what
to
I
hear. Thank you.
really remember, and I'm so happy to bring this up. Do you remember Anthony Manderson?
Yes, I do.
So he was this kid who he was definitely a little troubled, and he was kind of an outcast, unfortunately, just because he was a little odd.
Yeah,
you
and
recall?
plus elementary school kids are just
You
really
know how
mean.
it is, yeah,
You know,
and like
yeah.
people will get singled out for things.
In hindsight, sometimes
He
we
didn't
just,
deserve that,
We didn't.
but,
We
like,
did not. No.
You know,
no.
it happens.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time, it was maybe grade 6, and we had pizza day,
Okay.
and he was very hyperactive, so he was like always bouncing around all over the place, and he went up for his slice, and he was like, pizza day, and like he takes like 2 steps and he trips over himself, and he freaking drops his slice on the floor,
my
and
gosh.
everyone freaking laughed because it was funny.
Yeah.
And it was funny, and he was like, his face just dropped, and he was like,
Yeah, dude.
oh, and he
you're-
was so excited, and right away you freaking took your slice, and you were like, here, Anthony, have my slice.
Yo,
I was like,
I don't
damn,
remember that at
that's
all.
amazing. And then after the teacher, I think it was Miss Pellegrino, she was like, you see this? You see this right here? This is how you have to be. And I remember thinking like, wow, like that was such a selfless act. And you did this. I don't know if you recall.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I have a super
Yeah?
long memory.
I don't remember this at all.
And I was like,
really don't. But
damn, that was sick. Like that was like, that was such a quick thinking, selfless act. And you did it without thinking too. And I always admired that.
thank you, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I mean, I don't even remember that myself. But that's really cool that you remember that. I
remember a
appreciate
lot
the
of
sentiment,
things.
man. But I also remember like going back to like not getting in trouble and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember Miss Pellegrino got mad at me because I said shut up to Albert or something like that.
Yeah.
And she really hated anyone who said shut up. Like
Yeah.
that.
Because
she
I mean,
hated that.
it's a fair thing.
I remember her even making a comment about Rihanna's song "Shut Up and Drive," and she's like, "What an awful song!" Because it says "Shut Up" in the title or something
Yeah,
like
she
that.
used to,
It was
say
like
things
that.
like that.
So that was probably like the peak of me like getting in trouble.
In
But
trouble,
besides that, I appreciate you. I appreciate you mentioning it. I didn't even. I mean, I think that's just how we need to be, you know, with each other. 'Cause
Yeah.
As a kid, it's really easy to, like, we kind of ganged up on like a lot of the other kids sometimes who were like
Yeah, for
outcasts
sure,
and things
for
like
sure.
that. And when you look at it now as a grown person, it's like, how can you be like that to someone else, right? But
it's truly unacceptable behavior. But
it's not.
like,
yeah, it really is.
when you're a kid,
When
so
you're-
many things go, and like
Yeah,
people are still finding out how to be. I think
yeah,
how to act
sure,
towards
sure.
other members of society.
Yeah.
Really.
And
It's hard.
There's like an unconscious pressure, like when you're in like a school environment. I think no matter how old you are, because you don't want to be the one that doesn't fit in.
You need to fit in. Conformity is safety, right?
Is everything. Sometimes, yeah. So
That's
yeah.
so funny.
yeah,
I remember a lot of things you did, Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hit me with another one. Give me one more.
I remember in grade 7, it was your birthday, and you brought these. Remember, you used to get these pizza things, these like buns.
Oh
with
my
cheese
gosh,
and
yo,
sauce.
pizza buns.
And
Yes,
your dad
yes.
brought this whole tray of pizza buns, and we all got a pizza bun. Do you recall that? It was for your birthday.
I-
in grade 7.
Are you okay? When? Just now? Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Let's take a little
keep going on
hiatus,
audio.
yeah.
We keep going on the audio. It's fine. You want it?
Are you
Yeah.
gonna animate this part?
I just usually put like a blurb.
Do a little rendering in After Effects.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Y'all know how to use After Effects?
No. You did? You knew?
Little Final
Okay.
Cut.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember just in general, like if it was my birthday.
You
like
would bring things.
Yeah.
That was really cool of you too. See,
Yeah.
I remember that. I think that's
I
why
thi-
people thought of you as like this super nice guy, and I think like it's true. Yeah, you would bring stuff.
I honestly think that was more because of my parents. Because they knew it was my birthday. So they're like, oh, we should do this. I'm like, okay. It's not like I really wanted that much of the attention. I think it was just like, okay, this is
yeah,
cool,
I feel
guess.
like you're not a person that seeks attention.
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, my dad was around a lot because he would always come during like
Your
our,
dad,
like,
yeah.
field trips and things like that.
He
I remember
was,
that,
yeah. I
and,
think that's why. Like,
yeah.
I recall your dad pretty well.
Yeah. Those were always fun, man. I remember specifically
Field trips.
the best part. Like pizza days are like pretty common with schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we would have patty days. And
Man, shout out to Patty
Yo,
Days.
It would be
love
Lucky's
Jamaican food.
Patties over at like
Yeah,
the
Jane
Jane and Wilson
yeah.
area. So good, so good.
To this day, I love Jamaican food. I love a good patty. I love a good jerk chicken.
Yeah, we went after I did my episode with Christian. We got jerk after. It was nice.
Can we get jerk chicken after this?
we could. I'm never not in the mood for it. It's like it always goes well.
One of my favorite foods nowadays is actually shawarma. So
oh yeah,
I don't know if you guys been around. I would love to treat you guys to one of my favorite shawarma spots at Jane Wilson. Actually, that's a good shout as well.
One time, yeah, we definitely should. Absolutely. When
Love
after that. Or we get it for the Arsenal game or something like that.
Oh yeah, this guy's building a
great.
huge plan.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, I love that we're doing this. There's so many memories, and I like I said, I'm someone with such a long memory, and I'm so talkative.
Yeah.
So this is like perfect for me. This is like the intersection of like all of my traits.
Yeah, I know.
This is so perfect.
So speaking of memories and stuff like that, so I was looking through Facebook.
You know me, Ryan. I'm so talkative. Sometimes I think I'm too talkative. I'm like, sometimes I'll be in settings and I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Stop. Let someone else talk.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I honestly feel that way about myself sometimes. And when I've looked back at my older content, what I've done too, I'm like, damn, I think I'm talking too much. I'm not letting them go.
It's tough to be a good podcaster, right? Because like you want to express yourself, but if you have like a guest on, like you want to give them room to breathe. But it's a conversation, right? I think we're both talking, which is
for sure,
fine.
For sure. So I found this. Do you remember? Someone else is in it. Josh was in this photo too, but it's from our grade 8 Ottawa trip.
Holy, I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole other thing, but I remember that perfectly.
Yeah, so there was like a whole album that I put up there, really cringy photos of me wearing like shutter shades, because we were really like shutter shades were like a really
shutter
big
shades
thing,
were very cool.
Kanye West or whatever, and that's what we were rocking with. So I found this photo. I'll put this up on the screen too, but
it's going on the screen.
It's just us like by like the Parliament buildings and stuff like that. There's you. There's me. There's Joshua right there with his like kind of longish hair.
Yeah.
Going through like his punk phase or whatever. Yeah, man. There's that one and this one too.
That's funny.
That's crazy, right?
My hair looks hilarious. Like I had let it grow. It's funny because I've kind of returned to that style a little bit.
I'll show it to you.
I style it now.
Yeah, that photo. Yeah.
It's cute. Honestly, it's cute. I like it.
It's nice. I mean, I look at that fondly, right?
I do. Yeah, 100%. Because like that was a really big experience for us. Like we were just talking about, like our school didn't really have a lot of these things. So to do something like that, to do like such a big excursion.
Yeah, to even just stay somewhere like overnight and stuff like that.
Oh, Lake St. George?
Yo, Lake St. George though. Oh my God. Okay, funny story about Lake St. George. So Lake St. George was like kind of like a cabin camp kind of situation.
It was like
like
a camp retreat because there was like sports.
Yeah.
It was like in like a wooded area. Yeah.
We did a scavenger hunt. I thought that was
really
cool.
Amazing.
They gave us like these tracking devices, and so we had the whole area to explore, and we had to like to see the first one who can find all the items and stuff.
It was like a GPS.
That was really fun.
Find the coordinates.
I was partnered with, I don't know why I remember this. I was partnered with Jason Lamptey. Shout out Jason Lamptey. I don't even know. I haven't spoken to him since elementary school. But if you're
he's half Filipino.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I never like clued that in until like after. But yeah. Oh, can you hold it like away from the cable? Sorry.
Yes.
Just in case, because sometimes it gets a little loosey. Yeah. So Lake St. George. Okay. Funny story about Lake St. George. Trip. We were there as grade 7s, and the grade 8s were there too, right? So the grade 8s were like going around pranking people. Right?
Oh,
and I was a little bit of a crybaby growing up, okay? I cried a lot.
You know what? I have memories of you crying, but I don't want to bring them up unless you initiate them.
I did. I was very sensitive.
Maybe that's an off-camera thing.
I was really sensitive as a kid.
I got you though.
Like, I don't mind. But I was super sensitive.
You know what? Can I just say you are a sweet, sensitive guy. And there's nothing wrong with that, actually. That's a commendable trait.
Thank you. So I was super sensitive, so little things would kind of get to me, and I would cry a lot.
Yeah.
So but this is really funny thinking about it. So the grade 8s were pulling pranks on everyone, right?
Yeah, and they were like childish, stupid, kind of in bad taste pranks. I wouldn't say like mean, but bad taste.
Yeah, and not like super harmful or anything.
Yeah, not super harmful.
But what happened was, they came into my room, and I was on the bottom bunk of whatever, and then I woke up, and they were putting like toothpaste like all over my arm.
Yeah.
And then I was just so shocked by everything. So then I started crying. And then I started complaining about how the toothpaste was like burning my skin.
I remember that.
Something like that. Because I was like, look how red my skin, like my arm is now because of the toothpaste.
Yeah.
They're like slapping that stuff all around.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was specifically, but yeah.
I want to say
Yeah.
Marlon.
I don't even remember, honestly. Marlon would make
Marlon
sense.
and Justin Owusu. Remember Justin
Yo.
Owusu? He was definitely like in that.
Maybe.
He was definitely in that.
And there was like an older Filipino kid too, like
Justin
Joven or something.
Joven.
Yeah.
Who was also at Shaman, who was also in the band.
Was he?
He was in our grade.
Oh my gosh.
He was in our
yeah.
grade 10 music class or grade 11
like
music class.
Obsensis or something
Obscenes,
like that, right?
yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to Justin Obscenes. He's Filipino too, so.
Is it Justin or Joven?
Joven.
I don't
Joven.
remember.
I keep saying Justin.
Yeah, it's similar. But
you know what? There was a Filipino Justin. There was a Filipino Joven. That's why I'm mixing it up.
We had a lot of Filipinos. Yeah. So when I don't know why I started crying for some reason.
You cried. And I remember we had like a student teacher there. He was a bit younger, and he was trying to be the cool teacher. And he was like, I remember this is what he said to you. He's like, so what do you want to do to them? Like, do you want to like punch them? And I remember thinking like, what the hell? Do you remember that?
I don't think I do. I think I was just too shook up by everything. I was like, who's this guy talking
Mans
to
are
me?
shook. Mans are shook. But I remember like he was trying to come for you, and he didn't know. And he was like this kind of like macho guy, and he was like, yeah, like what do you want to do? Like, do you want to like punch them?
That's really funny.
That's so
Overall,
funny.
though, good trip.
Good trip.
Good
It
trip.
was a really fun trip.
Really
It was
fun
a great
trip.
experience. Like again, like
Yeah.
we didn't really
Hey,
get a chance to do that stuff.
speaking
so.
about the grade eights, though, I remember more of them played soccer. So we kind of had like this heated rivalry against them. We'd have like
Yeah,
a
that was
7
pretty
versus
sick.
8 game and stuff.
So
like
that's why we needed you, man. Like
Yo,
sometimes you'd be
okay,
like,
for
yo, I'm
those-
trying to run ball. We're like, yo, right, we need a goalie. We
We're-
need defense. We need this.
If we're against the grade eights, I gotta prioritize.
It's an on-site
That's-
thing.
That's a big. That's a big match.
It's a derby day.
Derby. Yo, actually, North London Derby, dude.
There'd be high flying tackles.
We would win some games.
We
would
definitely won some games.
Yeah, we
yeah.
had
We had good
okay,
players.
you, Alex, you were ballers for sure.
Yeah, we're
Joshua-
pretty good because we played outside of school.
That's
so
also
like,
true.
We were like,
Was Brandon still there? or
no,
did
he left in like grade 4. I reconnected with him
yeah?
a couple years
he was
ago.
a baller.
Actually,
He was a baller. I remember
he
him.
was good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we had some good players. We had some good players.
John L was kind of good.
He was.
Shout out John
He
L.
was.
It's my boy.
I remember the first thing. I didn't even know what you were even talking about. But I remember the first thing when he first joined our school. It's like you were talking to him, and you
Yeah.
found out he was Portuguese. Okay, obviously he likes soccer. And
Yeah,
then you
we
asked
became fast friends. I
And,
remember.
and then I think you asked him what club he follows, and he was a Benfica guy.
Yeah.
And then isn't Joshua a Porto guy?
Porto, yeah. So they're like a
they're already
Portuguese rivalry.
rivals.
Yeah.
So, but that was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, that's a lot of. It's a lot in the lot to unpack
That's a
here.
lot to unpack. Okay, why don't you hit me with another cry story, for all the fans out there who want
this
to
one's
hear that.
this one's kind of a deep cut. and
I can take it. I can take it. I'm good.
It's kind
I'm
of
good.
personal though.
Is it?
I mean, it's an in-school incident.
Okay.
I have such a long memory.
Sure, it's okay.
I'm gonna expose you, dog.
If it's too bad, I'll cut it.
It's not okay.
If it's that bad, I'll cut it.
You know
It's
what?
okay. It's not live or anything, so we're
the real films are made in the editing room anyway.
That's what I'm
so.
saying, dude.
So in grade 2, we had Miss Nate.
No, Atari.
No, okay. So grade 3,
The first.
it's Persis.
Okay.
Grade 3, you peed your pants in grade 3.
Oh my god.
And you cried at the desk.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh no! Like, what the hell is going on?" And I'm so sorry you had to hear this. You did. Do you not remember that?
I did.
I remember that because it was like a big event. It doesn't happen every day.
You know why? Because the one time that I reconnected with Angelique, she mentioned the same thing.
Okay, shout out Angelique. I love Angelique, by the way. I would love to. We should reconnect again. We should do a mini SPN reunion.
Yo,
But see,
SPN reunion would be cool.
It's a documented event
Yes.
in history.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh
'Cause,
man.
You know, and the thing is too, after that traumatized me so much.
Yeah, because it sucks, right?
When I really needed to go to the washroom, I was just adamant about it. I
Yeah,
was like,
for sure.
I need to freaking go. You need to let me right now, dude. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's such a.
I
It
am
sucks.
I am a piss my pants guy. Yeah, that happened.
I mean,
I don't even remember what they had to like rummage through like lost and found or something to get me clothes.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I needed clothes to wear home, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that yeah. Having like a teacher have to get you your clothes. Yeah.
Traumatizing.
Yeah.
How about a fun one now?
Fun one. Okay, hit me with
Okay.
yeah.
This one's a high
To
school one
balance it
though.
out. Okay, cool.
So we had Mr. Pozo, English, grade 12.
Yes, that's where we would
Where
talk
we talk
about
about-
soccer. Cause
You
with
know what
Paul
I
and
also
stuff like that,
remember? We on your I don't know if it was like you had an iPad or on your phone. You had a tablet or something.
Okay.
Maybe your phone.
Okay.
You had this little. It was like these little marble soccer games.
Yo, pocket soccer.
Pocket soccer.
Yes,
Yeah, we ran that.
that's a game. Man.
The runs.
That's
Because we
game.
were also good. We were also good. All of us were like good at English.
Yeah.
So I feel like we would like finish early,
And then
or
we
we'd
would
like be
just-
ahead of like the lesson.
we would just hang out after.
So we would get to play pocket soccer.
Yes.
Where we talked about what if
That's a good
everything-
memory.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that same class too, with Miss Raposo, we had a Shakespeare assignment, and
Yeah.
so for our Shakespeare assignment, we had to somehow reenact a play from like Hamlet, or I think it
We
was
did-
Hamlet.
we did
it was-
Hamlet.
it was Hamlet, right? So what we did is we went to the Lego store and we made like little Lego figurines of the characters.
Yo, that was sick. I forgot
and
about
then
that.
we did voiceovers, and then we edited. You guys edited it to make it like
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
a still movie and stuff like that. Like not stop motion or anything, but just like with different pictures and different angles and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That was really fun
we
to
made
make.
We made a film.
Yeah, dude.
We crafted
we're
a film.
filmmakers,
Yeah,
dude.
we're filmmakers
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen this too. I might bring it up when I talk to Christian, because I'm probably gonna talk to Dimabuyu soon. We did a skit for A Chong's world religion class.
I didn't have that class.
Oh, okay, we did like a skit where we were running around the park and stuff like that, like our
No
own
way. That's so
own like
cool.
creation story. So
Oh,
it was like
that's
we
so
were the
funny.
different seasons. We represented, like, I was winter, someone was fall or whatever. So we were like running around the park filming stuff.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention that when I see him. But
That's so good. Yeah.
that was really fun to do. That I thought that project was like one of the most ones I had. And then one more class thing that we did together. Mr. Costa's film as literature.
Oh, that was
class.
formative for me.
Yo, one of
That
the
was a really good class.
one of the best classes I've ever taken. It was so fun. Getting to watch movies for half the time and just talk about them. And
Yeah, but they weren't just movies. They were
They were
films.
films.
Like
They
they
were-
were
We saw
films in
some-
the cultural zeitgeist. Like they
Yes.
were seminal films that I think everybody should see.
we
or,
saw bangers. Yeah.
or films that you've heard of that people talk about.
Do you remember anyone that stuck out to you?
Oh,
from
Pulp
those?
Fiction. That
Pulp-
probably set me on a path to go to
Yeah.
film school.
Yeah, and I think he showed Reservoir Dogs.
He showed Reservoir
Two?
Dogs. He showed Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
He showed Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Yo,
He showed Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee.
yeah, that movie changed my life.
He showed some really great films that
Yeah.
like
He showed Amelie.
he showed
which is-
Amelie.
Which was,
Oh
which
man,
is-
that started getting me into like foreign films
yeah,
too.
which
Yeah,
is a really good one too.
that was actually media literacy is so important, and it's so much
Absolutely.
more so I think films because it's like it really is an art form.
Yeah,
and like
Yeah.
there's so much that goes into it, and I
Mhm.
think people can appreciate.
Do you have
You
an
know?
opinion on what's your take on like what the film culture is like nowadays? Like what's your take on it? Because a lot of people say it's like kind of on the decline. I guess. What's your take on it? If you have one.
Do you mean like business?
I guess
from a
in
business
I
sense?
guess
Because
yeah, sure.
that's kind
But
of-
I mean, sometimes it goes in tandem, right? But
Yeah, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, film is business.
sure.
They're these studios are trying to make money. Like they don't really care if they make a masterpiece. They care about their bottom line and making a big profit on these films.
Yeah.
And that's why we're seeing so many remakes and reboots and continuations of franchises, because these IPs have audiences that are built in, so they're almost guaranteed to make money, even if they're garbage. Like maybe
True.
The Flash being an exception, but that's why they're making so many Marvel movies. That's why they made another Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's a beloved franchise that they kind of like rebooted. Why?
Yeah.
right?
I guess
Because they
the
wanna make money.
the names itself are already gonna they know they can guarantee.
and
to
it's
pull
so much
people
more
in.
of a safer bet than backing an unknown filmmaker who's making a new idea,
Sure.
and they're not sure. I mean, they do.
But what if they're
studies
the
and
next
tests.
Tarantino or something like that, right?
That's
Or,
a lot of studios are not willing to take that risk, but that's why we're seeing like smaller independent films that are like
Mhm.
starting to make careers, because then they're like, oh
Sure.
man, like this person can really make a film.
Yeah.
And because they're getting chances from smaller films, and like, you know, that's why these film festivals exist too.
Sure.
Shout out TIFF. TIFF is starting. get a chance to
Yeah.
go to TIFF.
Yeah.
I've already got some tickets for a couple films. So
Cool.
I'm excited for that.
Nice.
But
Anything that you've seen recently that's worth the watch besides Gran Turismo?
I would say
since you
Gran
brought that up.
Turismo. Mission Impossible
Yeah, I saw that too.
is really good.
Yeah, that one scene when he like jumps off he just
So exciting,
just
right?
the silence of it as he just descending. Oh my god.
So scary. And
That's
I would say
frightening.
that's a franchise, but that's a franchise that stayed true to its roots, and they've always had amazing directors. Like the first one was directed by Brian De Palma, who's a respected filmmaker.
Yeah.
They've also had like John Woo directing like the third one. Like they've had a ton of, and Christopher McQuarrie's done like the last three. So they've had like a ton of really great filmmakers.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise has like had big commitment to them. So that.
Have you seen Oppenheimer? Because that was like one of the big.
I was just
big
gonna
ones.
say, I was like trying to think of what have I seen recently. Oppenheimer is an amazing film.
Yeah, worth the watch for sure.
Worth the watch.
Yeah. Does it need to be seen in IMAX? To
I
really
didn't see it in
appreciate
IMAX
And you
because I
still
didn't have a chance, and I still
loved
enjoyed it.
Yeah. Been meaning. I've still been meaning to see it, but
I mean, I could talk about films for like.
yeah, we might
5
have to have a
hours.
separate one
It
just
might
for
be-
films.
We could do a film.
You could probably do
podcast.
your own. You could probably start
I
your
could
own film
probably do my own
podcast. honestly. I think you do really well with that.
I think I would.
Yeah. Or just getting
Um,
your reviews or your takes and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I'm on Letterboxd. If anyone's on Letterboxd, follow me on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
You on Letterboxd?
No.
Letterboxd.
Is
Okay,
that?
that's gonna be a whole other conversation. It's like this film app, but
Yeah. How long have we been going? Oh, okay, cool.
an hour. Do you have like a time?
We'll keep it like around an hour,
An hour?
I guess.
Yeah.
Because what I've been doing with the last two guests too is that just to expand like my own repertoire or everyone else's. I was gonna just ask, but because you're also into films too, I'll ask you both. Is there one, quintessential album that you think everyone should listen to?
Music album?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or like it could be a few, like you can toss whatever, or even like a film, like everyone must watch this film once in their lifetime, kind of thing.
Interesting.
But you can also toss a few because it'd be
Just
hard to
like
choose one.
anything in the arts,
Sure.
in the visual medium.
Yeah.
I like that you still have your appreciation for the arts.
Of
'Cause
course.
I know we're so into music, both of us.
And I'm trying to be a music teacher. I gotta advocate for it. Right? It's super important.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Oh, I have I recently, well, not recently, but I got back more into music again, and like I bought this Fender Stratocaster.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
It's a 60s surf green. I love it. Shout out to my Stratocaster.
Eunice loves Strats.
You should
I'm
see my Stratocaster. I'm in love with it.
I'm more of a Telecaster kind of guy, but I love Fender for sure. But yeah, that's amazing. So you're trying to get back into playing guitar?
This was like a while ago.
Okay, cool,
This
cool,
was like
cool.
probably pandemic.
Yeah.
Where I have like my shitty acoustic Yamaha, but I play that all the time.
Sure,
and then I
sure,
was
sure.
like, I want to invest in it, so I bought like a shiny new Strat.
Cool, man.
So I play that often when I can.
Dope.
And so I started listening to like more rock again. Like I had always listened to like alternative rock and things like that, but started getting into like indie rock and classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I listen to a lot of hip hop as well.
Yeah.
Albums though, it's so hard because there's so many.
It's hard.
So much.
You can just say like you can even just toss out a few that just pop into your head, like your go-tos.
Some of my 10 out of 10 albums I would say are like the new Abnormal by The Strokes.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's a more recent one, but I think
Yeah.
from day one when I heard it, I was like, this is one of the best albums I've ever listened to in my life.
Dang. Yeah.
But I'm a little bit biased because they are like my favorite band, I would say.
Dude, they're like in my top 2. Like I was gonna say if it's them and Always. Like I kind of mix.
Yo, shout out Always.
Yo.
Their
Yeah.
self-title is a 10 out of 10 album, I would say. But out of my 10 out of 10s, yeah, like New Abnormal.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say if you're gonna ask me, I was gonna say Room on Fire. It was like
Room on Fire. Okay, I mean I love their entire discography.
Yeah,
but
that's
Room on Fire
true.
is very good.
because that's what got me into the Strokes, like that one album.
classic,
So,
right?
Yeah.
Reptilia.
Yeah.
I would say Frank Ocean's Channel Orange. That's one of my 10 out
Okay,
of 10
cool.
albums.
Funny enough, Christian recommended Blonde.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I would say Kanye West's Graduation album. I
Yeah.
think is so good.
Yeah.
So good. Um,
Dude, you're all over. I like the versatility. You know?
I listen to a lot
You
of
got
music.
you got garage. You got like almost like garage rock to all the way to, or like more
Yeah.
alternative rock with normal, and then you got hip hop. You got R&B.
Oh, I
you
have
got
a ton.
everywhere.
I have I would say Daft Punk's Homework.
Yo.
Daft Punk's
I think
Homework.
when you told me about, I skipped
think
that
I
album right
introduced
away
you to that.
because it was so. Because I got into Daft Punk honestly when Random Access Memories came out.
Yeah, because
and then
it was so cool.
Then I went backwards to see like where it came from. Then I got Homework, and then I went back to like Discovery, the like Discovery album, and
very good.
went
yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you told me about Homework,
yeah.
and I was like,
it's
yeah,
a great album.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you my top 4 on Letterboxd right now.
Cool.
So, a bit of a common one, but Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
a quintessential Tarantino film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such
Did I make you watch Pulp Fiction? I did.
Such a groundbreaking film,
Yeah.
and it's just cool. And like, how many times is it referenced in like pop culture?
It's such a unique and fun movie to watch.
Great movie.
That has to be on my, like, even if it's not like my favorite movie, it's still a movie like you have to watch this movie just for the culture of it.
It's so
like, you
good.
just have to watch it. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I would say, more pedestrian.
Sure. But it's still a good
it's
movie.
it's a great film.
It holds up, right? So,
Pan's Labyrinth.
okay.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro, Spanish language film, El Laberinto del Fauno, and it's an original title.
Mhm.
But a beautiful film.
Mhm.
Beautiful film. It's like it's told from a child's perspective, and it's like this fairy tale that it essentially turns into a nightmare.
Mhm.
But it's gorgeous. It's got drama and action and romance and fantasy, and it's a beautiful film.
Cool. I think I've only
Would
seen
highly
it like
recommend it.
once in like school or something, but I don't think I was paying attention. Really.
We might have seen it in the film class.
Really?
Actually, maybe not. But
Maybe not.
because it's a bit of a heavier
I'll
film.
have
but
to.
I would
revisit
highly
it.
recommend that. My third top on Letterboxd is a film called Big Night. It's actually written and directed by Stanley Tucci. He's
Okay.
a pretty common actor. It's actually one of the things that put him on the map.
Mhm.
And it's a beautiful film about these two brothers who run a failing Italian restaurant, and they're adamant about keeping their Italian food very authentic, and it's a little too authentic for like the seaside town where they're at, because like the people are not used to this like very Italian food, and so
Sure.
they're not doing well with the business.
Mhm.
And so it's affecting how their relationship as brothers. It's affecting their businesses and their finances, and it's just a beautiful film. And I guess I like it because I have a brother who I have a close relationship with, so
Mhm.
I can kind of I feel it a little bit more. But it's also just about business, and like there's romance and drama. It's a wonderful film.
Cool.
And my fourth one, actually, I'm going to give you two here, because my fourth one is actually a film called That Thing You Do.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a more recent film. It's Tom Hanks' directorial debut.
Wow.
And
okay.
I think you guys would love it,
Wow.
because
I love Tom Hanks.
it's
so.
essential. It's about a band in the 60s, and it's about their rise and fall as a one-hit wonder band.
Whoa.
It's amazing. You guys
Cool.
would love. Ryan, I think you would
That
love
thing.
it. You're a music
Say
guy.
say
That thing you do.
That thing you do. Okay. Yeah. How recent is this?
Like 2004, 2005.
Oh, okay. So like
It's not
like
super
early
recent,
2000s.
but early
Early
2000s.
Okay.
And Adam Schlesinger of Bowling for Soup did the music for that.
Oh.
Bowling for Soup, like 1985. Two kids in high school, they tell her that she's uncool. You know that song?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
he
Once you started saying the melody.
he's done music for like TV, and he actually, funnily enough, does some of the original songs for the Phineas and Ferb show, because they all
Oh.
have a lot of original music.
Dope,
Anyways,
dope. Yeah.
These I'm always throwing just information at people, but
That's okay.
he also did the music for some of the originals in this movie, and it's great because it's all about like 60s rock, and it's
Yeah.
so good, and they kind of like parallel like what the Beatles would essentially become, but
Sure.
like it's like what would happen if essentially the Beatles only put out one great hit and nothing else. And it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
But I'm replacing that because there's this other film that I love. It's called Chungking Express.
Chungking Express?
Chungking Express.
Chungking Express, yeah.
It's a movie from Hong Kong by this really renowned director called Wong Kar-wai. Shout out Wong Kar-wai. And it's so good. It's so good. It's this movie that it's essentially 3 films in one, because it starts off as like this Hong Kong gangster flick about like drug trafficking.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it kind of, the story transfers to the police officers who were involved in the taking down of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it centers on this cop in Hong Kong, and he's just like this really emotional dude who walks around, and he's looking for like the love of his life, and he's like having a hard time with it, but like he's pretty good with women, and he meets a lot of different people, and it's about like his career, but also like his love life. And then it kind of centers on this hawker stall called Chungking Express, where he goes to eat, and then we meet all these other characters who work there, who like to eat there, and like it's cool. Beautiful, and it's soaked in neon, and it's amazing cinematography and amazing music as well. Yeah. The soundtrack is so fire.
I love how that always typically correlates. Like good films have really good music,
really good
or even
music.
even if it's not necessarily like originally composed, it's just like a really good soundtrack that matches.
That's so funny. Yeah,
movie,
I think out of the 5 films I mentioned, 3 of them, I think I associate their soundtracks
cool
with them because they're so good.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
Well, now I have more to my list. Now I got things. There's no excuses for not. What did we watch? I got 4 or 5 that that'll take up my time. So amazing, man. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think we could have gone for hours.
Oh,
for
we
sure.
could talk. Yeah, we could talk.
We might have to do a part 2, part 3. But like, Javier, it's been a minute. Thank you for taking the time to be on this, man. I appreciate it.
Love it.
Do you have, besides Angeli, do you have any recommendations on like a person I should ask to be on this?
I think Angeli's a good show. I know we talked about elementary school.
Yeah.
I think Jesse would be an interesting subject because you guys had a lot of interests.
Yeah, or one of the old elementary gang.
One of the old elementary gang.
So if they're watching this for some reason, I think they should watch it.
Michael Luong.
You
used to hang out with Michael Luong.
I need to find him.
That's my suggestion.
I don't think I follow him on anything. We'll have to scour.
Shout out to Michael Luong.
Shout out to Michael Luong. Okay.
Great guy.
That's a good suggestion. But yeah, I would be happy to talk to Jesse or Alex or Josh or any of those old dudes. But thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Signing off.
Yeah.
Is that a cut?
Wow. Amazing. And we're good there. Recording didn't fail. I love it.